All right, so Bitcoin is getting a pretty massive move to the downside. Today around New York Open, we saw, price start to fall outside of this local range, and we have just continued to dump since then. We've come down 4.47% so far. And when you look at some of the higher time frames, the 4 hour is looking pretty bearish the way the money flow and momentum are curving to the downside right now after we got these bearish divergences. Seems like some of these higher time frame bearish signals may be starting to play out. And obviously now both of my long trades from yesterday are stopped out. They were both stopped out around their entry. And I said that if we started to lose those local levels of support I was looking at, that we would need to start planning out some more macro supports. And I mean, we did come down to one support I was interested in, these lows. There was probably lots of liquidity around there. In fact, we can check Coinalyze and see if we saw trades getting stopped out as we took out those lows. And yeah, we definitely did. Does seem like we stopped out a lot of longs, but you can see open interest still has not come down to like the levels we were at before we started seeing all these longs open up. I mean, some of them were shorts up in this area. We did see a lot of shorts open up. So maybe that's why the open interest is so high up, because there's still a lot of shorts open. But yeah, we did see a large decrease of open interest. And, we do have potential to SFP this on a higher time frame. We got a 24-minute candle close below it, but we still have not closed that 30-minute candle. So we could still SFP those lows and maybe then get a retrace to the upside. I'm not super interested in longing this right now unless we see some sort of clear signal. And for me, that would probably be like a golden pocket retest with some bullish absorption locally. That would probably be my clear signal to say that, we're getting a move to the upside. And if not, I have a clear invalidation here down below those lows. If we lose those lows, then it was obviously just leading CVD. I did take a long right here, pretty much for that same exact reason. We saw local absorption, and I locked this one in. I hit TP1 up here, put my stop loss down below the 886, and got stopped out at a break even. And as I'm looking at this right now, seems like these lows are the last level of support before this key level around 25K, which is the retest of these highs. I have this 20,200 level marked out because we had that wick and this wick on it, very clear support and resistance. And that previous wick right here, I have that marked out. So, you can imagine a little box between these two and say, we could look for a very key support resistance flip in that area. Also, this yellow moving average, I'm sure a lot of you already know this because I'm sure a lot of you watch Jason Casper as well, but this is the 200-week moving average, and right now it is lining up pretty nicely with this very key support resistance flip. We can also pull some fibs and see if we have like a golden pocket lining up there, and from that low it is between the golden pocket 786. Maybe from this low it is not a golden pocket, but it is a 0.5 fib from this low right here. So, a bit more confluence. It is some fib levels. So, I am very interested to see what happens if we retest this zone here. We could look for some higher time frame divergences if we get a move down there, which, it's still iffy on the 2 hour because price still has to come down a long ways. And if we get a move down there, this momentum wave may come down below these lows. On the 4 hour, you could say we probably have potential for divs here if we get a quick move, but the money flow trending down isn't looking super great. So I may want to see something like this on the 1 hour, where we work our way down with some decent structure. We start putting in, shallow lows, maybe SFPing the lows, and then eventually we kind of break structure. We, start to form some divs on this 1 hour with money flow trending up. That would probably be a more confident bottom signal rather than us just wicking down right now and, probably not forming that many divs, at least not clearly with money flow as well. So, and this would also most likely present, better entries. You can have very clear invalidation, very tight stop losses, and you could hypothetically lock this one in much quicker. And I would also be aware of the value area high retest. We have the value area high of this little range right here. We can also look for the value area high of the larger range, which is coming in right around 23.7K, 23,670. And the 382 of this entire move is also lining up pretty nicely with that value area high. So, this would probably be the next zone I'd watch if we lose that 25K level. Now, if we start getting to move back to the upside from this SFP that we got right here, which actually, let's check locally. Seems like we might want to continue putting in higher highs here, but, we got a wick there that could end up being a high, so I'll put an alert down to that GP. So if we start getting a move back to the upside, this is a zone I'm looking for potential shorts. We have a nice area of confluence right around here. First, it's the value area low of this little local range that we were trading. Key support. We held support on here for a while. If we come back up, we can expect it to act as resistance. It was a golden pocket before we continued to dump. So I don't think this will be any fib levels. The 786 is lining up there, and I can move this up to that high actually, and it's probably a better 786. Well, 786 is up at the top of the 24-minute OB now, but the main things I am interested in with that zone is the order blocks that we formed on the way down. So, you can see that 12-minute order block. I'll hide the box. And we got this blue candle in between these two purple candles. That to me is a very clear order block. And we also have a 24-minute order block overlapping it. It's kind of in the middle of the 12-minute order block, so, maybe you could look for this exact level at like 27,711, kind of where the 24-minute order block starts, but you can see this blue candle in between the two purples, and then, again, we came down to break structure. So we got some nice order blocks right around that area, and now the 786 is at the top of the 24-minute order block, so I would be interested in this whole zone between like 27,670 and 27,800-ish. And we now also have another 24-minute order block that we formed in that little consolidation range, so we can mark that out as well. It's right around that daily level 2, so there's some confluence there. Let's see if that golden pocket from that original high lines up there now. Yeah, the golden pocket is lining up with the top of the box as well. So this is another local zone that interests me between 27,240 and 27,400, you can say. We may come up and hit that very soon though, so it may be tapped by the time this is uploaded. And yeah, I'd say those are pretty much the trading plans that I'm looking for in the near future. Now, as for what I think is going to happen with price, we do have to, be aware of the fact that we have lots of divergences across some of these high time frames. And, there's a chance that those will begin to play out. Maybe price has to retrace and maybe consolidate lower before that money flow can turn around, before we can see another move to the upside. But I do ultimately think we will see another move to the upside. I would probably be betting on this support to hold. If it doesn't, I still think we can, come down, find support elsewhere, and maybe then get another move to the upside. And the only reason I'm saying that is because of the weekly time frame. You could say that the weekly bullishness right here, the money flow clearly trending to the upside, getting very close to crossing into the green, even though it is kind of hooking over right now. It has been steadily increasing since January, since the beginning of January. And momentum continuing to put in higher highs, actually getting close to the 60 line, which, we can check all the times the weekly momentum wave got above the 60 line. And this one just barely did, and this brought us up to all-time highs, granted from 32K. But, weekly momentum waves getting above the 60 line are definitely no joke. I'm not saying that this has to play out bullish, but the weekly time frame definitely has me leaning that way. And maybe it's just, something like we saw in the last bull run where we get a little like mid bear run pump, maybe up to some key resistance inside of this range before coming back down to, wipe everyone out again one last time. I still think that's very much a possibility. But right now, we do have some clear bearishness on some of these high time frames that, may need to play out. Or maybe they don't need to play out. I mean, we've been forming divs this whole time, and price has continued to put in higher highs. Maybe we just SFP these lows and then continue pumping up. I think that is still possible, even though right now it's seeming a lot more unlikely. But truthfully, I do not really care what price does, at least in the long term. If it goes to 50K or if it goes to 15K, right now it doesn't matter too much to me. I'm just interested in trading the levels and trying to make the best of whatever situation we end up in. Alright, well, I think that is about it for this one. Thank you all for the support. Really appreciate it. If you guys enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. And I will see you all in the next one.